Stocks rose to record levels with a labor market report that reflected stronger than expected employment and a drop in the jobless rate. On Friday, the S&P 500 registered record closing and intraday highs, extending the record-setting gains from Thursday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added over 100 points and also set a record high while the Nasdaq dipped. For investors, it was the Labor Department's July jobs report. The report showed a whopping 943,000 jobs came back last month as the unemployment rate fell to the lowest level since March of 2020. The report also showed upward revisions to the past 2 months' payroll gains. But with the Delta variant and the fear mongering, many of the talking heads suggest the economy is not in the clear yet. And perhaps that's just what the market wanted, since a healthy economy would mean the end of Fed accommodation. But talking about whether the Fed accommodation will end or not is like having a discussion about Batman and Superman and who would win. It's a useless conversation because everyone knows Superman would crush Batman. And so, everything is still awesome. And with that, let's take a look at the charts. And today we're going to look at two quick charts, beginning here with the iShares Russell 2000 ETF, and the symbol is IWM, and this is a very good proxy for the Russell 2000. And we only visit the Russell 2000 every once in a while, but the Russell 2000 to me is kind of like the canary in the coal mine, at least recently. As you can see here, that looks like a very massive top forming right here. Now, let's move on down into the oscillators. Volume is fine. You can see there that the MAC is also looking like perhaps a massive topping process. Now the fast line is up here and the slow line is right there. So there's plenty of time, energy, and elevation for anything to happen. But we just don't want the worst to happen. Taking a look at the histogram, you can see that there's a topping process here, and we're already sliding down. So we have to be careful. There's some caution flags. Into the price rate of change, this topped out here, came on down, and there's a possibility that it could reflect back up once it comes down closer to the slow line, the fast line being the black and the slow line being the red. Could be a move down here and then reflect back up. We'll have to watch for that. Here, relative strength still at a moderate 73.62, so it's not too hot and not too cold. Into the stochastics, that looks fine, as well as the Williams too. So let's move back up here to the price chart. One last look. So now let's go take a look at the weekly of the iShares Russell 2000 and see what that indicates. And now we're taking a look at the 2-year weekly on the iShares Russell 2000. And when we were looking at the monthly chart, we saw that large topping process, and here you are in the weekly chart, all the way through there. So that's definitely a red flag from the monthly. However, at the same time on the weekly, we can see this channel, perhaps the bottom channel line through there, and the top channel line moving through here. So the process really doesn't look all that bad on the weekly. We're moving through this channel line, cycling through here. Now, what's interesting is when you get to the MAC. The MAC showed the fast line moving through the slow line in that March-April time frame. Both the fast and the slow line have been moving on down very, very gently. Now, while they've been moving downward very gently, the price chart has been moving sideways through that channel. So we have somewhat of a divergence. So let's go see some of the other oscillators. Moving down through here again, we're not quite ready for a bottoming process in the MAC. However, the histogram does show perhaps a bottoming process. I'm not quite convinced yet, but it could be occurring here. I'd like to see it improve. I'd like to see that upward move in the histogram. And then into the price rate of change, that too shows a very gradual decline all the way down to that zero line. the bottoming process perhaps is just initially starting here. We need to see a few more months of that. Same thing here in the RSI, and then as well as in the stochastics and the Williams. Williams actually went all the way down into the oversold territory. So that's interesting. But back up here to the MAC. So if we can get a bottoming process here in the next few months or so, and if the price chart doesn't break, but we get that move in a fast line heading back up and through that slow line, that would be good news for the Russell. That could be a move, another stage on up, which also would mean the likelihood that the other indices would follow. So we'll keep tuned and watch this formation as long as the price can stay within that channel, and then the oscillators head down and reset near their midlines or zero lines, then that would make for a very interesting fall into the end of the year. And for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.